Jack Thunder and the Dawn of Unity. Chapter 4 The Tunnel of Terror. Hey Shadow-Paws, how come we haven't been on that one? Shadow-Paws turned to where Stephanie was pointing. His eyes met a garish, crudely painted castle, the words, "The Puppet Palace," flickering across the top in loopy neon letters. He scrunched up his nose in disgust. No way. You don't want to go on that one, trust me. It tends to make people throw up. Stephanie rolled her eyes. What, you scared? I'm gonna try it out. She darted towards the entrance. That's not what Ugh. Shadow-Paws ran after her. The three of them strapped themselves in. As the ride started, the cart began a slow crawl around the track. The three were enveloped in darkness. Stephanie scoffed. Seriously? This is what Shadow-Paws is afraid of? A lone spotlight sprung to life. A single wooden puppet, carved to resemble a harlequin gremlin in a black and orange jumpsuit, began to sing. Oh, life is so grand in our world of wonder. As lights of various colors flared to life, more puppets, most shaped like gremlins, joined into the chorus. The insipid little tune assaulted Stephanie's ears. Don't let sadness tear you asunder. When we join hands and sing this song, you'll always want to sing along. That was the whole song, just the same chorus over and over. Stephanie clasped her hands over her ears, but it still seeped through to her brain. It assaulted her from every angle as the creepy dolls danced and ran circles around the car. She groaned. All right, never mind. Now I see what Shadow-Paws meant by this ride makes people throw up. Suddenly, the lights cut out, along with the music. The puppets seized, then slumped over, hanging by their strings. Stephanie sighed. Ah, what a relief. The car jolted to life. It began a slow, steady crawl further into the black. Stephanie held her breath. What had happened? Did the ride break down? A red light cast on a single puppet in the gloom drew her attention. It listlessly strummed at the strings of a mock guitar. The cart slowed down until it stopped right next to the lone marionette. Its head lifted, casting its sightless gaze upon Stephanie. Its expression morphed into one of sadistic glee, glass eyes peering down at the lone human amongst fairies. Target found. A billion eyes flared up in the dark. Jack Thunder's staff crackled dangerously as he brandished it at their invisible foes. Stephanie only saw Shadow-Paws' third eye crystal flash for a split second before the cart burst into a sprint, rocketing faster and faster down the infinite tunnel. Stephanie was slammed down into her seat, unable to see anything save for bright streaks of red and vague outlines of claws and sharp wooden teeth as they raced past the possessed puppets. Her mind raced. This must be my first boss battle, but what do I do? A crack of lightning filled her ears as a bolt of green lightning lanced past her and struck one of the puppets in the chest. It erupted in a fiery blaze, its forlorn scream lost amongst the whoosh of the wind. More marionettes dove at Jack Thunder to avenge their fallen friend. One managed to grab hold of the Storm Gremlin's staff for a moment before it too was immolated. Jack Thunder yelled to Shadow-Paws over the din. How many of these things are there? Shadow-Paws didn't answer. The lunar crystal in the middle of his forehead burned a hole in his skull as he focused on propelling the cart forward. None of this made sense. The ride had never acted like this before. And what was with the target found he heard? It was as if someone painted a bullseye on their backs. One thing was for sure. This could only be the work of another Nekomata. Who else had such a wield over wooden dead things? He got an idea. His third eye crystal's aura turned a bright white as he charged up his spell. A blast of psychic energy from his forehead froze all the wicked animatronics for a second. long enough for Jack Thunder to shock them one last time. They were all set ablaze, thrashing and shrieking in despair as they burned away. Stephanie felt the pressure on her body let up as the car finally slowed down. The inky darkness of the tunnel gave way to the shade of trees. As they pulled into the ride's exit, the three of them could see the ruined remains of the puppet palace behind them. The structure was in shambles, the ground littered with the remains of broken, burning marionettes. Their eyes glowed no longer. "What? You ruined everything!" Stephanie turned her head towards the source of the new voice. A rather skinny and filthy-looking Nekomata was running at them, shouting angrily. He was black and gray like a Siamese cat, but he had white fur on his belly and face. 2 long patches of black on his muzzle formed a curled mustache, suiting the ragged black top hat and cape he wore. His icy eyes bore into the three of them. "Look what you've done!" He pointed towards the demolished remains. "You broke them all! What am I supposed to do now?" "What? Did you send them to attack us?" Shadow-Paws demanded to know. The stranger's face twisted. "Do you know what's going to happen to me? Oh, I knew this was a bad idea. Miss Butternut told me not to make a scene. But seeing the air fragment in your hands... Hey, what's going on over here?" A deep and powerful voice drew Stephanie's attention. She spotted a burly harlequin gremlin running towards them. She had to guess he was the one in charge around here. His jumpsuit was the same black and purple as the ones the guests were wearing at the entrance. He had bushy black eyebrows and a somewhat scraggly goatee that shone almost blue. His slender tail kinked and curled upon itself. What distinguished him most from the other harlequin gremlins, though, was the notch on his right antenna. The stranger's ears flattened at the sight of the older gremlin. Oh! Strombolio! Long time no see!" Strombolio's eyes narrowed. "Why are you here, Twitchit? You know you're not welcome on Circus of Shadows property." The Nekomata stammered. I was just... "And what's all this behind me?" Strombolio motioned to the wreckage. "Well, you see, I was just servicing the ride." Twitchit smiled. "Yeah, that's right. And these 3 kids here, I saw them messing with the dolls. I tried to stop them, but, you know..." Strombolio snorted. "You really expect me to believe that garbage?" Shadow-Paws joined in. "Yeah, and who is this Miss Butternut person?" Strombolio's eyes widened. "Miss Butternut?" he roared. He leered at Twitchit as the latter backed himself up against the ride's outer facade. The harlequin gremlin closed in like a wolf on a lamb. "What have you been doing with her?" Twitchit stammered futilely. His eyes darted around, searching for an escape route. Strombolio leaned in close to the filthy Nekomata. "Listen to me, you 2-tailed piece of work. I'd better not ever see your face around here again, especially not with Miss Butternut. You know I don't tolerate that kind of garbage in my circus, ever," he hissed into Twitchit's ear. Strombolio backed off and pointed towards the exit. "Now get out, if you know what's good for you." The stranger scuttled away, twin tails between his legs.